yesterday's video, Wade had to ask Ron about any sunrises because he hasn't seen any for a while. Yeah, I don't know what Ron's going to have for a sunrise this morning. That's what we got here so far. Stuck in traffic. I remembered this morning to move the main line down where it crosses the creek, or move it uphill actually. So it'll straighten out and seal back up, I hope. And while I was doing that, they decided they wanted to go in, so at least traffic jam wasn't too bad. I think most of them already made it in. I think these are the scragglers. Kind of looks like it, because usually these younger calves right here are at the tail end, and there's 3 out of, well, actually those 2 are 2 of the youngest. There's 2 other heifer calves, so he's not quite one of the youngest. Ain't too far from it though. And then that bigger one there, that's Baby Boomer's calf. And I don't know, if you go back far enough, you remember we shipped his 2 big sisters. And my mother's been kicking herself in the butt ever since. We sent them to freezer camp, actually, because we needed some meat. And they were both open, a 2-year-old and a coming 2-year-old. So it would have been a 2 and would have been a 3. And that's the end of that bloodline. But he's a damn good looking calf. So I kind of mentioned to her the other day, you know, she's got one hell of a bull calf on her. And realistically, he's only going to be related to, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15. So it's not too hard to keep him away from no. And I think he'd make a good bull. He's still got a lot of growing to do. If you can see him, he's going uphill, but his back is level. That means his ass is taller than his front. And that's a sign they got a lot of growing left to do. They level off when they get big. And one steer's still out there. They got that feeder moved around almost to the fence. Would have liked to have thrown a bale in there yesterday, but I wasn't going to do it by myself. And besides that, obviously, you seen I had other things I had to get done, which somebody still wants me to do more of that kind of stuff, but I don't know about it today. I get up this morning, first thing I do, you know, like everybody else, scrub your teeth, take a leak, put your clothes on. Then when I come out of the bedroom, my shoes are right there, and I slip my shoes on, and or I'll get my coffee going first, whichever. I leaned over to tie the first shoe, and my back spasmed, so I am moving very, very slowly now. Oh, it's going to be a wonderful day. I'm still leaking. I hate this setup. I really do. And the other end's leaking on the back side of the coupler. Where it goes to the hose to go underground, the back side of the last piece of pipe. But £130, give or take. It was only at 120 or a little less right here. So that's a hell of a lot better than it was. And you can see why I really hate to deal with that. Years ago it wasn't so bad because the pump set, well, let's see, the pole was a full 5 feet from where it is. So the pole would have been just about where that straight up 2x6 is, give or take. To give you an idea, that old water tank buried in the ground there, that was for the little pump, that one. And that had a valve and a connection. Actually, it's still in there. I can see it. You can't. Sorry. That had just that cheap black roll it out pipe. It goes 1.5 inches. That it's still under the ground. It went just about straight up next to where the steer's feeder is, and used it to water where they are up there. And that would come up. I think there were 3 places it come up. One of them was up there for Mom to water the garden, because way back when the old spring used to be over by that power pole. And in the summer, when you really needed to water the garden, but the cows needed to drink, there wasn't any water going to the house. It all went to the barn. There wasn't enough there to pump it to the house. So anyway, it is what it is, but it was much nicer when the pump was way back over here, because it actually set past that old tank right there. Actually set over here, which made a straight shot for the gap in the tree, and put the coupler on the other side of the tree. The hard part was getting the first piece of pipe across, and once it was across, you were hooked up and you were there. But, you know, frickin' rodents go digging the banks out, and then the banks collapse, and then the power company had to move the pole. And of course, when they moved it, they lowered the meter in the box. The bottom of the box used to be at eye level for me, which right now is the top of that aluminum piece that the meter is mounted to on the pole. That's how much they lowered it. Not too bright considering the water gets up in there, but they did it, not me. Anyway, move on to something else. I don't know why we would have had a leak there. I guarantee that's been in there 50 or 60 years anyway, because Dad welded the tabs on those couplings about then, and I don't think we've had any of them apart. Luckily, number one found another new gasket. Well, newer. It might have actually been a new one, I don't know. She's gonna go put it back together, and we're gonna finally get some water flying again. There's one 810 big auger header. Hopefully the cutter bar holds after the repair last year that we didn't combine anything after we repaired it. Checked fields today. The wilds are 70 or 80% dropped out, so that saves some hassle. Unfortunately, there were quite a bit of wilds. The field we were in when this broke last year, there's a dozen landowners probably up there, I guess. A few places have sold in the last 3 or 4 years. And the other yuppies farther up the hill that have their McMansions pressured these poor people. Oh my God, the fire danger, there's going to be a fire, and it's all blah, blah. Yeah, the very best of the oats that we had to combine, someone took a rotary mower to it. Now, if you want to talk about fire danger, what the hell are you doing with a rotary mower out cutting that shit? That is the best way to start a big fire. I mean, mowers are known for starting fires. You hit a rock, you hit a bottle in the field. Any of that kind of shit sparks a frickin' fire. So, once again, the very best of everything up there went underneath the rotary mower. There was a couple patches that I already knew were, and they weren't that good. I wasn't too worried about it. One gal who, brand new landowner up there, she contacted me and I said, I plan on getting there. We just got to get there. Well, her place got mowed off too, and it wasn't too bad, but listen, we don't pay any rent up there. It's all to keep their taxes down. It was all volunteer. But what's left? Sorry, people. Your taxes are going to go up unless somebody else comes in and does it. And kind of the way they got it, I was going to turn all that over to a friend of mine who farms right next to it. And with what half of them did this year, I don't think he wants to get involved in it. So, I mean, I feel sorry for the rest of the people because they're good people. I mean, they really are. But, you know, 40 acres worth of stuff, and there's roughly 20 acres that's been mowed off. 10 acres of that was shit, but the other 10 acres was literally the best left out of the 30. And what's left, there's only about 8 acres that's worth running the combine over. And it's not worth taking the combine up that hill for it. We crawl up that hill at 4 miles an hour at best. It takes longer to move from here to that field than it does to move from here to any of our other fields. And it's all because of about 3/4 of a mile of hill that's so damn steep you can't get up it. So there's my rant. But the other fields, yeah, there's a lot of just shit grass in half of them. But there's also quite a bit of fairly clean oats in the rest of it. So hopefully, and it had some started to fall, but not much. I mean, there was a few empty heads, but almost all of them are still full. The bad thing is, my little back spasm this morning, yeah, I'm screwed up. So I'll go get cracked tomorrow afternoon and hope that works the first time around. If I don't do too damn much between now and then, it'll be okay. So that's my story. Now she's got that tractor out of the way. I can swing this down there and she can clean it up today and it can get greased and we'll go from there. And I'll have to get number 2 to leave me my pickup so I have something to pull the header up the hill with. That's been another pain in the ass. You know, she's got a dead car and she's got another one that likes to get too frickin' hot half the time. And if she's in traffic, it gets too hot. So she's been using my pickup to go to school and go to work. Incidentally, the only thing with a hitch on the back of it stout enough to pull this, besides the pumpkin, and that's a bit of an overkill, but don't say I won't do it. Anyway, this will probably be the end of the video for today, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a good tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day.